Hello. I've just really randomly decided to start filming because the past 2 days I have accumulated lots of new books that I'm very excited about, and it's kind of really given me that drive to start reading a lot, especially because the next couple of days I don't have any plans. So I was thinking that I could try and read more than I usually would as well. Yeah, my hip injury is quite bad at the moment. Walking's quite difficult. So I'm not going to go to the rehearsal that I was supposed to go to tomorrow. They already know about it because it's only an hour and I have to travel 2 hours there and back, so 4 hours in total, and it costs me about £15 worth of travel. So if I can't actually dance when I'm there, it seems a bit pointless. So let's talk about the books that I got. So I've got 10 books in total. Yesterday I picked up 4 books. I picked up these 4 books from my local secondhand bookshop, which is my favourite place to go. They posted on Facebook like a bunch of new donations. So I found 4 books that were from my wish list, and I'm trying to stay in my wish list as much as I can as like a general rule in terms of purchasing books at the moment. Because I have such a long wish list, like what's the point of me having it if I'm not going to use it? So I'm going to show the first one. I'm going to cover up the picture a little bit because it's explicit. I'll just cover her boob. So the first one is Weird Fucks by Lynn Tillman. This is one of my most anticipated reads. It's very short. I might actually read this in the next couple of days because I'm desperate to read it. It's technically a novella, but it's kind of, I think, set up a bit like a collection of short stories, almost like little vignettes. And it's about a woman who goes on a series of one-night stands, and I think through those she sort of learns things about herself. The second one, this is the like series, like Netflix tie-in edition, which we don't love, but it was secondhand, it's perfect condition, got it cheap, and the money goes to a good cause, so whatever. But it's Orange is the New Black by Piper Kerman, which obviously very well-known memoir, turned into a Netflix series. I just watched the series for the first time, so I wanted to read the memoir because I read lots of non-fiction. So I then picked up The Man Who Broke into Auschwitz, another sort of area of non-fiction that I read about is World War II in general, but specifically about the Holocaust, just because I think it was such a horrific, disturbing, like completely incomprehensible thing that happened, that so many completely fascinating stories came out of it. And then the final book that I picked up from the secondhand bookshop was White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo. Basically says what it is in the title, why it's so hard for white people to talk about racism. I'm very much looking forward to this. Again, not super long. You know, I feel like a lot of people are put off with non-fiction books about how long or dense they are. This is 150 pages. Also, if you're unsure as to how long a non-fiction is, bear in mind that a lot of the end of the book is notes and sources and things like that. So actually, when you look at how much the actual book is, it's not as much. So that's a little tip if you want to get into non-fiction. Moving on to today, me and my friend went book shopping because she's just finished her exams. We've both just sort of wrapped up our degrees and we wanted to kind of treat ourselves, just go for a really lovely day out. So we got Italian food and then we went book shopping, and it was great. So we went to a charity shop. It was just a cancer research one. And I found these 2 stunning books. These aren't from my wish list because I didn't know they existed. But I found Wartime Recipes, tiny little book. I'm definitely going to read this like in the next 24 hours because it's so short. But it's exactly what it says on the tin. And then the other one I had to get because it was so stunning. This is the Pocket Encyclopedia of Roses. I know you're probably thinking that's a bit weird, but it's so stunning. It's from the 1960s, this edition. There's even envelopes in it from the 1960s, which were for like seeds and things. It was just really stunning, and it's got lots of really stunning images in it as well, which is what really drew me in. But again, this won't take me very long, and I think I'm going to read this very, very soon. I then bought I Hate Men by Pauline Harmange, which was very recently put onto my wish list. It's very, very short, under 100, I think it's like 90 pages, so yeah, very, very short. I read a lot of feminist nonfiction. This year alone, I have already read 20 feminist books. That's mainly because of my dissertation, the nature of what I was talking about, but I read a lot of feminist nonfiction. And this title really pulled me in, not gonna lie. So that was from Waterstones, and this is as well. This is Suffragettes, The Fight for Votes for Women. I read a really short book about the suffragettes by Penguin, which had lots of really interesting bits and pieces from suffragette history. And Suffragette is one of my favourite films as well. I'm just very inspired by the suffragettes. However, saying that, there is a book on my wish list that I really want to get, which I wanted to point out. I think it's called White Feminism, and it talks about various different parts of feminist history that were exclusively, or even are exclusively, for white women, or middle-class white women who are married and etc. And the suffragette movement is something that is discussed in that. So I do want to read that as well, because I am aware that the suffragette movement excluded a lot of people, and it was in no way, shape or form perfect. But it's something that I am very interested in. And then finally from Waterstones, I got Black Flamingo, which is stunning. The reason that this really pulled me in was the multimedia aspect of it. It's written in verse, but it's also got images, text messages, quotes, letters, all sorts of things. It's all about a guy called Michael, and I believe it's about him it's just like a big self-discovery story. I'm not sure if he's a drag queen or whether he is just a man who enjoys wearing women's clothes. And then finally, I picked up The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I do not need to talk about because everyone has read it except for me. I managed to get it for £5 in the works because they have like a TikTok recommendations section. So yeah, these are the 10 books that I have accumulated over the past 2 days. We are 2 days into May and I've already bought 10 books, but I'm really happy because I have significantly reduced my TBR. I had a goal to decrease my TBR to 100 books, and then sort of in the same vein I wanted to have a fiction unread shelf and an unread shelf that had non-fiction, poetry and graphic novels on it. So I'm just really happy because I was able to buy some new books and not feel too guilty about it, because I've been working really hard to cut down on my TBR through reading lots of stuff, unhauling things I'm not interested in anymore and passing it on to other people and all those sorts of things. So yeah, very, very excited. So I think I'm going to put my new books onto my shelves. I'll probably keep a couple of them out, like the ones that I know I'm definitely going to read in the next sort of 24 hours. But the rest of them I'm going to pop on my TBR. So I think I'm going to start off by reading these 2 little books that I bought today, just to kind of get me going, get me in the swing of things. I feel like it's always good if you want to like read multiple things at once. Start off with something like short and easy, because that feeling of completing something, it will like spur you on for things that are a bit more difficult to get through. It's 9 p.m. and I'm gonna go out for a bath, and I think I'm going to try and make some progress with one of the books that I'm currently reading. Not sure which one I'm gonna take up yet, but I'll show you. So I just read about 80 pages of Demon Thief in the bath, which has brought me up to, I think, page 142. So I've got about 130 pages left of it. Don't think I'm going to finish it tonight because I don't know if I'm in the mood to carry on with it, but I'll definitely be able to finish it tomorrow, which is good. Is the afternoon and I've tidied my room, had some lunch. Just wanted to also go over last night. So obviously you saw that I read the Wartime Recipes book. I gave 4 out of 5 stars. The book about roses, I gave like a 3.5 or a 3, something like that. Because I loved all the images, but obviously it's not actually something that I'm super interested in. I finished the book about miscarriage, and I actually only gave it a 2.75 because I was hoping I'd be able to recommend it to my clients. I work as a birth doula as one of my jobs, but it was very, very academic, very medical, not very sensitive, so not exactly what I really wanted. And then I also read the first, I think maybe like 40 pages of The Gender Games by Juno Dawson, who is going to be at Yalk, which I'm going to in July with 2 of my best friends and my mum. So I'm very excited about that. So I will be meeting them and getting that signed. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to read this afternoon, but I definitely will get some reading done. I'm looking at my pile of books right now, but there's also stuff on my TBR shelf that I'm desperate to read. So we might just pick something random up as well. We'll see. So I wasn't very keen on username Evie. I think I'm gonna give it like a 2.5. I really liked the concept of the fact that like her dad passes away and kind of leaves this like sort of virtual reality sort of world for her, but I don't think it was executed very well. I thought some things were really oversimplified and then some things were really overcomplicated, which is weird. But the good thing is that I finally tried this out, and obviously now that I know that I'm not very keen on it, I can actually unhaul the other 2 books. So this has actually got 3 books with my TBR. And now, because I literally cannot control myself, I'm going to be reading Weird Fucks by Lynn Tillman. I have such high hopes for this, so I'm a bit worried. because I don't want to be disappointed. But let's see how it goes. This is actually now a few hours later, I'm sorry, but I read Weird Fucks and I was a little bit disappointed. I did enjoy it. I gave it, I think, 3.5 out of 5 stars, or 3.75 maybe. I just didn't think it explored the areas that I expected it to explore very well. The way that it's kind of pitched is like all of these crazy kind of sex stories, and I wouldn't say that's what it is. There are like moments that are like that, but that's not what I would say that it is as a whole, you know? Then I would like to do some more reading tonight. I'm thinking of possibly trying to finish Demon Thief or make progress with the Gender Games, or both. We shall see. Judgment. Hell yeah. Look at that. Hello. Long time no see. So this morning I got some news that I wasn't expecting, some not very good news. So I kind of spiraled a little bit and I ended up calling my friend Lona, who was amazing. She's the one I went book shopping with earlier in the week, and asked her to come and spend the day with me. So I haven't done any reading during the day, which is exactly what I needed. We just watched Netflix and just ate loads of good food, and yeah, just did what needed to be done. I realised that I had read quite a lot physically and I didn't actually really want to read more, but I did want to listen to my audiobook. So I listened to my audiobook while I was just playing a game on my phone, and I made some progress. I read the equivalent, I think about 50 pages of The Queen's Gambit by Walter Tevis, and we actually were watching the Netflix series today, which I've watched many times. It's one of my favourite things of all time, but Ilona hadn't seen it. Also, this is the only TV tie-in cover that I would accept, because what a beauty, you know. But I will definitely be listening to a lot of it tomorrow, because I've got to go to uni tomorrow and I live 2 hours away. Hello. I've got many an update. So today, while I was on my way to and from uni, I made progress with my audiobook of The Queen's Gambit. So in terms of physically, I'm roughly up to about page 182, and I've got an hour and a half left of the audiobook. I already know that it's going to be 5 stars. I'm loving it so much. And me and Ilona finish. You would have seen that she was here yesterday. She came over so we could watch the last episode today before I headed off to uni. So I look like a mess, by the way. She is a lot actually. I'm very tired. I'm gonna be heading to sleep soon. In terms of tonight, I think I'm just gonna do what I did last night and just make some progress with the Gender Games and Demon Thief. Yeah, it should mean that I should be able to finish it tomorrow. But tomorrow night I have my partner staying the night, so I don't tend to read when he's here unless he falls asleep earlier than me, but that doesn't happen very often. Also, while I was putting away the books that I got today onto my TBR shelves, I completely forgot about this book, which is called War Girls, and it's described as a collection of First World War stories through the eyes of young women. And it's all different authors. There's nine stories. And what I like to do with short story collections, which I know a lot of people do, is just to read like one or maybe two a day until you finish it. So obviously this is 9 stories, so I might read one a day and then I'll finish it in just over a week. And then that would be another book ticked off. So I might read the first little story tonight, I think, which would be good. Very exciting news was that when I got home, there was a parcel for me and I was thinking I haven't ordered anything, and it was like felt really weird. And then I realised it was something that's not supposed to arrive until June. We're on May 5th and I think it was supposed to come on June 10th. And I'm very excited. These are like labels that you put on a shelf. They're expensive for what they are. They're literally like shitty bits of plastic. And this cost me like 20 quid, which is really annoying. But I really wanted to do it because a lot of people, when they come into my room, they ask me questions about my book collection because it's quite large. It's obviously very well organised, and I can sort of say to them like, oh, this is what this section is or this section is. But if it's got labels on it, like, I feel like people would be more drawn to certain sections and they can have a look at things that they're interested in as well and ask me things. I just like that idea. So I'm very, very happy about these. I have finished off my rehearsal and I'm heading home now. We had like a very productive time at the theatre, which is good. But on my way in, I managed to finish The Queen's Gambit literally as I walked into the theatre. So that's all finished and it's definitely a 5-star. Really, really enjoyed it. So it's 2:30 and I just got home from uni. I managed to finish The Demon Thief on the train and I ended up giving about 4 stars. But the plot twists and the way that the plot twists were delivered were really, really good. I was literally having to like put it down and like actually think about what I just read. I then decided to download my next audiobook, which is Lockdown by Peter May. So I've read the first 5 chapters of that, I think, and I'm intrigued so far. I'm not really in it yet, but essentially it's the book that people see it as like it predicted the pandemic and stuff, so I was curious about it. Yeah, so now I've got 2 hours until I have my tattoo appointment. I'm getting 2 tattoos today. I think it'll be 1 or 2. Sorry it's so dark in here, but I'm just reading with the fairy lights on. It's just like really nice and chill. But I read the whole first half of Destination Anywhere. Sarah Barnard is one of my auto-buy authors very much, and I'm so excited that I get to meet her at Yalk in July. we're hearing from two different timelines. So it's about a girl called Peyton, and we hear about before and now. In the now, she's decided to go to Canada to travel, and she didn't tell her parents, she just got on a plane, and we're following that story and her meeting people and traveling and doing lovely things. I'm not usually interested in travel, but this is great. It's just so wholesome and lovely. And then the before is sort of the reasoning as to why she felt like she had to get away. But yeah, I read the first half, and so I know I can read the second half tomorrow. I'm just going to read until I fall asleep. I'm definitely going to read the next story in War Girls, which is the short story collection that I'm reading. So I'll read the second story, which I think is called Ghost Story or something like that. And I will probably try to progress with gender games. Hello. It's actually Sunday evening now, and I've just wanted to kind of wrap up this video. I rehearsal directed in central London for a few hours and then travelled back home, and as soon as I was back, I went straight from there to my tattoo appointment. In terms of what I've read today, I listened to like a tiny bit of my audiobook, like literally maybe like 5% more, something like that. So I've not really made much progress with that. I've only got about 60 pages left of Destination Anywhere, and I'm loving it so much. I did want to be finishing this today, but I am so exhausted that I don't think that's going to happen, and I don't want to force it or rush it. So I will definitely be finishing this tomorrow. It's still feeling like a 5-star, so it would have to have like a really weird ending or something for it to not be a 5-star. That's like how I'm feeling at the moment. But yeah, my only other plans for this evening is to read the third story from War Girls and just continue with that. If I didn't mention it last night, I gave the second story, Ghost Story, 3 stars. But yeah, I am so ridiculously exhausted. Oh, I'll show you my tattoo actually. So I'm building up my sleeve. The ones I got. Oh, this is going to be upside down for you actually. I don't know how to show you this. That's what I got today. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me, seeing what I read this week. So I completed 7 books. And obviously I'm currently reading 1, 2, 3. And I'm currently reading 3 books. So I'm happy. That is a lot of stuff. And I do hope to sort of continue on into next week. However, next week is a show week for me. It's like the final uni shows, so I'm going to be crazy busy, but that's also a lot of travel time, which that'll be like some physical reading but a lot of audiobook listening. So see how that goes, but probably not as much as this week because I'm going to be a lot busier. But yeah, thank you for joining me, and I shall speak to you soon. Bye.